Welcome to this video, and in this video we are going to have a look at how we can go about solving this problem on the student exam result analyzer. So it says the manager of a high school has requested you as a professional programmer to design a computerized exam results analyzer which prints out whether a student has passed or not based on the following criteria. So the percentage marks attained by a student in 3 exams are to be entered to a computer, and then an indication of pass or fail is given out after the 3 marks are entered. So we basically have to enter 3 marks to the program, and then based on those 3 marks the program should print whether a student has passed or failed. And how do we decide whether the student has passed or failed? So for that there are some criteria given. The first one says a student passes if all 3 exams are passed, right? So if the student has passed all the 3 individual subjects, then that is a pass. And additionally, a student may pass if only one subject is failed and the overall average is greater than or equal to 50. So in this case, even though the student has failed one subject, and if the average of the entire 3 subjects is more than 50, then we can say the student has passed. The minimum pass mark for an individual subject is 40, and each exam is worth 100%. And then it says, in addition to this, once a student's marks for 3 exams are entered and analyzed by giving a pass or fail status, the program should then ask the user if he or she wishes to process another student result. If Y, then the exam marks for the new student should be entered and analyzed in the same way. And this should continue until the user has finished of analyzing all students, which he would indicate by entering an N. So basically the entire process should run in a loop while the user enters Y, and if the user enters N, then we should exit the program. And then there's a note given. It says your program must validate the percentage scores the user enters to be within the range from 0 to 100%. Any value outside this range is considered illegal. So before we go on to writing this program, we'll first try to write a pseudocode. So we'll start by taking the marks. So we'll ask the user to enter the marks, and then we will see in, or we can say read the marks. And of course, before this, we will need to declare some variables for marks. And then once we have all the 3 marks, then we need to find out how many of those 3 marks the student has passed. So calculate the number of marks that the student has passed. So if the marks is more than 40, then that is considered a pass. And then we also need to find the average. And then we will have some conditions. So we can say if all 3 marks are more than 40, then we will print a pass. And then what if only 2 subjects are passed and the average is more than 50? So we can say else if 2 subjects passed and average is greater than 50, then again that is a pass. And if there's anything apart from this, then that is a fail. So we will print fail. So that is the basic logic of the program. And then this entire code should run inside a loop. So we need to continue doing all of this in a loop, right? While the user does not enter N. So I'll open up my Visual Studio 2019. All right, you will click on create a new project, and then we are writing a C++ code. So I'll search for C++ here, and then we will click on this empty project. It says start from scratch with C++ for Windows. So click on that and click next. You can give a name to this project. Now the exercise is 1, so I'll name it as exercise 1. You can select a location to save your code. So I'll save it in my lab1 folder. Select folder and then click on create. Alright, so we get this empty area, and then on the right hand side there are a number of folders, and there's one called source files. Right click on source files, and this will bring up this menu. Go to add and click on new item. Then you will select a C++ file, that is .cpp, and then at the bottom you can give a name to your source code. So I'll call this main.cpp, and then click on add. Right, and then we get this empty space where we can write our code. So I'll write the template of our C++ code, and then we will continue from there. Okay, so my template is ready. And then over here, we can simply start by asking the user to enter 3 marks. So we can say cout, enter 3 marks separated by a space. So the user will enter the first mark, space, second mark, space, third mark, and then press enter. And then before we read the input, we need to declare the 3 variables. So since the marks can be in decimals, so I'll declare this as float or double. So I can say float m1 for mark 1, mark 2, and mark 3. And you can declare them in 3 separate lines or in the same line. So since all the 3 marks are of the same type, I can write them in one line. And then I'll read the marks. So I can say cin m1, m2, and m3. So once I have all the marks, and then I can now do the processing. So I have declared the variables, asked for the marks, and then we need to find out how many of those 3 marks the user has scored more than 40. So I'll declare a variable called subjects passed. So int subs passed. So initially they are 0. So this basically will count how many of those 3 marks are more than 40. And then to check if the marks are more than 40, we will need a condition. So we will say if mark 1 is greater than or equal to 40, so we will count that. And to count, we will just do subs passed plus plus, and we'll repeat the same thing for the other 2 marks. So for mark 1, mark 2, as well as for mark 3. So if mark 1 is greater than equal to 40, so we'll count that as 1. Then if mark 2 is greater than equal to 40, we'll count that as 2. And if mark 3 is greater than 40, we will count that as 3. So if in any of these the marks is not greater than 40, then we will not be doing subs passed plus plus. Right, we also need the average. So we can say float average is equal to mark 1 plus mark 2 plus mark 3 divided by 3. Now you will notice that we have some magic constants over here. We have 40 and 3. So I'll declare them as a constant. So constant int, we can say pass mark is equal to 40. And instead of writing 40, I will write pass mark. Right, this is just a good programming practice. Right, we have 3 here. So I can say constant int number of subjects is equal to 3. And then instead of using this 3, I will use num subs. Right, so now we know how many of these 3 subjects the student has passed, and then in here we can write the conditions. So we can say if subjects passed is greater than, or we can say equal to 3, then we can see out pass. So in here you will notice that I haven't put the curly braces over here, right? You can do something like this. We have the condition, and inside the curly brace you can write subs plus plus, but since we only have one statement per condition, I can go without the curly braces. Okay, so if you have only one statement inside a loop or the condition, then you can write that statement without the curly braces. Okay, and then over here, then we will say else if subs passed is equal to 2. That means if the user has only passed 2 subjects, but the average is greater than equal to 50, then that is a pass as well, and otherwise that is a fail. Right, so if all 3 pass, then print pass. If only 2 pass and the average is greater than 50, then pass again, otherwise fail. Right, so that's the code we have, and then we have to run this entire thing inside a loop until the user enters no. So I'll indent this part and I'll put this inside a while loop or a do while loop. So I'll go with a do while loop because we will need to run this code at least once before the user can decide whether to enter y or n. So inside the do loop, I have this part. So we can say while the input is equal to y, right, and we need to define input on top. So I'll declare that as a char input, and let's say initially it's empty, or you can just leave it to char input. And then after this part is done, at the end we will ask the user to enter the value of input. We will say, do you wish to continue? And we can give the user a choice, that is between y or n. Right, so I'll run this code just to make sure there are no errors. Okay, so it compiles successfully. Now before I test this code, let us write down some test cases. So test cases are basically a set of inputs for which you know what the input should be, and then when you enter those numbers into the code, the result produced by the code should match with the one in your test case. So let's say if the user enters 56 for mark 1, 78 for mark 2, and 93 for mark 3. So in this case, I have colored this in green to indicate that is more than 40. So in this case, all 3 marks are more than 40, so that should be a pass. So the program should print pass. Then what if the user has passed only 2 subjects and the average is greater than 50? So let's say the marks are 90, 89, and 30. So you will notice that in this case, 2 marks are more than 40 and 1 mark is less than 40. So 2 pass and 1 fail, but the average is greater than 50. So in this case, this should also be a pass. Then what if 2 marks are pass and the average is less than 50? So let's say the mark 1 is 60, mark 2 is 65, and mark 3 is, let's say, 10. So in this case, we have 2 pass and 1 fail, but the average is less than 50. So that should be a fail, right? Because the average is less than 50, even though 2 marks are more than 40. Then what if the student passes 1 subject, but the average is greater than 50? So let's say in the first one, the student scores 90, then 38 in the second one, and 39 in the third one. So in here you will notice 1 mark is pass, 2 fail, but the average is more than 50. So in this case, this should be a fail because the student has failed 2 subjects. Then what if we have 1 pass and the average is less than 50? So that is obvious, that should be also a fail. So let's say we have 90, 10 and 10. So 1 pass, 2 fail, and average less than 50. So again, that is a fail. And then last one, let's say all the marks are fail. So let's say 25, 26 and 27. So again, that is a fail. And let's put one border case. So let's say what if the marks are all 40, right? So all pass, but the average is less than 50. So in our criteria, it says student passes if all 3 exams are passed. So in this case, all 40 are more than equal to 40. So that should be a pass. Now let's compare the result of the test case with what our program produces. And that should match with our test cases. Only then we know that our program is working. So first one is 56, then we have 78, and then 93. So this should print a pass. Okay, so it looks correct. Let's continue. So let's enter the second one, which is 90, 89 and 30. So we should get a pass. Okay, continue. Then we have 60, 65 and 10. So this should print a fail. Okay, good. Then the next one will continue. Then we have 90, 38 and 39. So this should be a fail. Okay, continue. Then we have 90, 10 and 10. So again fail. Okay, good. Continue. Then we have 25, 26 and 27. Again, that should be a fail. And then last one we have 40, 40 and 40. So this should be a pass. Okay, so looks like the program is working. I'll exit by entering no. So once again, in summary, we are asking the user to enter 3 marks, that is M1, M2 and M3. We are reading the mark, and then we are checking in this part how many marks are more than 40. So every time a mark is more than equal to 40, we increment subjects passed by 1, and then we find the average. And then in the conditions, we are basically implementing these criteria that are given. That is, a student passes if all 3 exams are passed. So if subjects passed is 3, then we print a pass. Then it says additionally a student may pass if only 1 subject is failed and the overall average is greater than or equal to 50. Right, so that means 2 pass and the average more than equal to 50. So subjects passed is 2 and the average is more than equal to 50. And then if there's something else apart from that, then that is a fail. And then once we print either pass or fail, we ask the user to enter Y or N to continue or exit. If the user enters Y, then we continue running the same code over and over again. And if the user enters no, then we exit. So that was basically all for this video. Thank you for watching.